Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Community Schools Foundations module. Similar to the previous module, the Introduction to Community Schools session, this module is also for everyone who is a part of community schools, whether you are a student, family member or caregiver, school staff, community partner, or other stakeholder. We welcome you and appreciate your being here to explore the resources provided by your Southern Inland Regional Technical Assistance Center. My name is Cheryl Tsuyuki, and I am a community schools coach at Los Angeles Education Partnership. I work alongside my wonderful colleagues, Alessandra Cascarano, a fellow community schools coach, and Jose Montes, our community schools director. If you may be wondering who is LAEP, then please allow me to introduce our organization. Los Angeles Education Partnership was founded in 1984, and we are a nonprofit that advances educational equity. Together with families, schools, and the community, we facilitate access to and opportunities for quality educational and wellness practices so that children thrive from diapers to diplomas. If you would like to learn more about LAEP, please visit our website at laep.org. Okay, let's get started on this learning session. In this module, we are going to explore the following guiding questions. What framework is a community school based on? And how do we shift toward a community school model? The second question implies that there may already be practices, efforts, and partnerships in place at your respective schools. Also, there may be some things that need to shift or change in order to embrace the spirit of a true community school. Here are our objectives for this session. We hope that you will gain knowledge of the overall framework of California community schools, including the 4 pillars and 4 cornerstone commitments, and understand how effective implementation of community schools requires a shift in how things have, quote unquote, traditionally been done. In this Community Schools Foundations Learning Series, we are going to give a broad overview of the California Way, an introduction to the community school framework in the context of the California Way, the 4 pillars of community schools, and the 4 cornerstone commitments, followed by a closure. As we mentioned in the Introduction to Community Schools module, the California Community Schools Partnership Program is the umbrella under which we are all working together to transform schools and shift toward a community school model. The butterflies here represent transformation. They're a visual reminder of the goal we have to make schools more equitable for our students, their families, and the communities our schools serve. In order to plan for and implement the community schools model, the California State Transformational Assistance Center for Community Schools, or STAC, developed this guide to build capacity and ensure the community school model continues and thrives at each school site. At the top are the overarching values, the why of community schools, guiding this transformational work. Please take a moment to read these overarching values. Below the why is the how, the capacity building strategies that aim to create coherence, sustainability, and authentic community engagement at schools. We'll dive deeper into these capacity building strategies in subsequent modules, such as collaborative leadership and decision-making. But if you'd like to learn more about these strategies after this session, please refer to the resources slide in the PDF of this module to access the STAC Capacity Building Strategies developmental rubric. Continuing on, The what at the bottom portion of this image are the programs and practices that are locally determined at each school site. Remember that every community school is different. So there's no one size fits all in terms of what programs and practices best fit the needs and assets of your community. You can help determine this, so be sure to get involved and have your voices heard. Everyone, the who on the left side of this image over the outline of our beautiful California, the students, families, partners, educators, and community, you are what make and shape your community school. Okay, now that we have a broad understanding of the California Way, let's briefly take a look at this framework of the California Community Schools. This is a framework upon which community schools can thrive. This can look a little overwhelming when viewed all at once and when we may not yet understand it. So let's break them down a little bit. At the top left are the 4 pillars of community schools: expanded learning time and opportunities, integrated student supports, collaborative leadership and practices, and active family and community engagement. We'll discuss these in more detail in subsequent videos in this series. California has leaned on these 4 established pillars of the community schools movement, but realized that key conditions of learning provide the foundation for the 4 pillars. You'll see that in the top right, these key conditions of learning include social, emotional, and cognitive needs backed by the science of learning and development. At the bottom left of this framework are the cornerstone commitments, which are essential components to all California community schools. We'll be delving deeper into these cornerstone commitments toward the end of this module. And finally, the bottom right are the proven practices that California encourages every community school to adopt and adapt to meet the needs of your schools, because out of many approaches and practices out there, these proven best practices will help you further in your transformation toward a community school. As we mentioned in the Introduction to Community Schools module, what differentiates a community school from a traditional school is the foundational framework. Here are the 4 pillars referencing the image used in the video by the Partnership for the Future of Learning: integrated student supports, active family and community engagement, extended learning time and opportunities, and collaborative leadership and practices. Together, these 4 pillars create the conditions for students to thrive. Now that we have an overview of the 4 pillars of community schools, let's start deepening our understanding of each pillar. The 4 pillars are on the left of the screen, and to the right are descriptions for each pillar. Read the descriptions and try to match the pillar on the left with the correct description. As you read, use keywords and context clues to identify the match. If you are participating individually, pause this video and do this on your own. If you are joining with a team, pause this video and do this individually, then discuss your answers in pairs if you're participating in person, or discuss your answers as a whole group if you are joining virtually. You may now pause this video and do this activity for about 5 minutes, or a bit longer if you need. Welcome back. Were you able to match the pillars correctly? Let's check. Integrated student supports matches with C. Active family and community engagement with A. Extended learning time and opportunities with B. Just kidding, it's D. I wanted to make sure you were paying attention. And finally, collaborative leadership and practices with B. We hope this brief activity gave you some processing time and connect with each pillar and key descriptors. Now, you may have seen this image of the 4 pillars of community schools from the Learning Policy Institute. This is the graphic representation of the descriptions we just read. As you take a look at these images, start to envision what your community school could look like. Again, these 4 pillars work together to reinforce an effective community school. These 4 pillars together must work in synergy and are what creates a true community school. This concludes the introductory portion of this Community Schools Foundations webinar. Click the next video for a deeper dive into each of the 4 pillars of community schools.